All right, everybody. Welcome back to the eHunter podcast. I'm your host, Taryn Hunt. I'll actually be co-hosted today with Seth. On our podcast today, we have the guys with Spartan Arms. They're a custom rifle builder and out of Wyoming, and they have some pretty amazing guns. And we just want to talk to them a little bit about all these different rifle companies, these custom rifle companies that have come out lately and, over the last probably decade. But just kind of what makes them different, what makes them special, and kind of the ins and outs of being a custom gun company. They also do a lot of other things, so we'll talk about that as well and just kind of get to know them a little bit better. So if you guys have any questions, make sure and leave comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave it in the comments. If you're on a podcast platform, go ahead and just send it in via social media. You can DM us on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. You can also email us. My email is terronh, TERRONH, at ehunter.com. Again, that's EHUNTR.com. Hopefully if you found us on here, you can remember how we spell eHunter. So we got these guys ready for us. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the podcast with Spartan Arms.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very awesome. Dude, you guys must be from Wyoming with that many antelope on the wall.
Yeah, them are all mine, plus 5 more in the back. You know?
One of the guys that we're associated with, Monty Miles, he's from Pinedale, and he's all about those antelopes, so I like giving him crap. So sorry to start this off with that.
I don't know if you can see the one on the other side of that whitetail. That one's in Boone and Crockett.
Yeah, I was going to say, that thing's a monster.
And don't play down.
Yeah. I shot him with a handgun.
Nice. No way. How far?
175 yards.
What kind of handgun you shooting, man?
I got an XP 100R that's 257 Ackley improved.
Yeah. Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Bolt action pistol with a 16-inch Sheelan barrel that I run my Thunder Beast suppressor on.
Nice. Golly, I kind of want to see that. You're going to have to send me a picture of that.
Well, I got it in the safe. He can show it to you.
Let's see it. Let's start this off right, man. Let's see this thing. I mean, we're talking guns today anyway, so we might as well look at some guns, right?
Yeah. He grabbed a bunch, so.
Good.
That's something to show you.
I'm assuming that is Kevin, by the way.
Yeah, that's my dad, Kevin. I'm Jordan.
Okay. I was going to assume, but it happens when you assume.
Brother Grady, he just got home from work, so he might pop in and out.
Sounds good. Well, I like you guys' background a whole lot better than Seth's background. Seth is moving right now, so
I'm moving, so I've got a really cool cardboard box right there.
He's so fancy.
Yeah, he's got a life-size bear in here, and then there's a life-size coyote. I don't know if you guys can see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So my uncle actually shot that coyote in the nose.
Did they fix it? Like, does it look like he shot it in the nose with the taxidermy?
No, not at all. The taxidermist did a really good job on it.
Man, I want to.
It's shot with a 17 Remington, so it wouldn't have left much of a hole.
Oh yeah, that's not too bad. I want to take a walk around this room that you guys are in.
So this is where the XP 100R, they made them in 98, 99.
Wow.
So, and then, like I said, it's chambered in 257 Ackley with the
There you go.
Thunder Beast suppressor.
Wow.
That is sweet, man. Holy crap.
I killed whitetails. And
I shot my first antelope with that gun, actually.
With it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
That is really cool. With that suppressor, does it kick much?
No. Man. Without it, it's a little jumpy, But
yeah, I would imagine that's a gun that needs a suppressor on it for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hella loud.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do they still make those, or is that discontinued
So
now?
where are you guys from?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, they came out with that CP, which is kind of a version, but before they went bankrupt, I don't know if they're going to come back out with that.
So Manners actually makes a stock, and you can take a short action Defiance or Remington, anything with a 700 blueprint, and you could actually build a pistol off of that Manners pistol stock.
Yeah, you can go from a pistol to a rifle, but you can't take a rifle and make a pistol. So when you do it brand new, when you register it, it has to be registered as a pistol.
Gotcha. When you guys say you could do it, I definitely couldn't do it. I'd send it to you guys to do.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with like the Gillette, Wyoming area, but they have a YO shoot, and that's all handgun stuff. These guys are this is an extended eye relief, so you got to be extended to see through it. But a lot of them are putting rifle scopes on them, and they're still shooting them 1,400 yards at steel and stuff. They have a big shoot. Yeah.
Wow.
Good grief.
Good night. That'd be fun. I've got one of my best friends, basically my brother, lives in Gillette. I need to come up and see him and go to that, because that would be amazing.
There's a gunsmith over in Newcastle. His name was Chris Rhodes. He's going to retire now, but he'll take wheel guns and put different barrels on them and put rails on them and scopes. He did a lot for the handgun hunting community, and that's big over in Gillette. It's actually that YO shoot is, you can either go out on this guy's ranch and they shoot prairie dogs, or you can go shoot steel, and it's kind of a competition, who shot the prairie dog at the farthest. And so, yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, Seth, we have those hams hunts. So, guys, I heard one of you asked if where we're at. So we're in Utah. Currently, I'm in southern Utah. Seth's kind of in central Utah, except for he's moving down here into God's country in southern Utah here pretty soon. But Seth, do you think we could use one of those handgun? Like, could that be used on one of our hams hunts?
I bet it could be, because I don't know what the specifications are for Utah with a handgun, but I would assume as long as it's classified as a pistol when you build it, I don't think they can do anything.
Dude, we need to get into that, because that would be sweet.
Well, they're chambering them 6.5 PRC, pretty much anything in a short action, 6.5 284 if they're a single shot. This one actually has a blind magazine in it where it'll hold 3, just like a ADL or something that didn't have a floor plate. But the original XP 100s were a center grip. I don't know, you've probably seen the center grip ones.
Yeah.
They were made in, from the 70s and 80s, but McMillan still makes stocks for them. And
there's actually a company out there that builds chassis that you can put an AR style grip on the bottom of a chassis that these bolt action footprints will fit in. You can do it in a long or a short action. I think they run like $400 and some uncoated. So they're relatively affordable.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Dang, I got to look into that, because if that's possible, holy smokes. So they just came out with these hams hunts in Utah, like, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago. You can hunt basically limited entry units with these hams hunts, which is handguns, archery, muzzleloader, and shotgun. If we could use those using a rifle scope on it, I mean,
that's a game changer.
It absolutely is.
You could put Arca rail on the bottom of this and use your tripod that you're using for your spotting scope. And, once it's rock solid, you could shoot as far as you want.
So you're talking 1,400 yards. If you're able to do that with these things, I mean, I wouldn't shoot an animal at that, but even if I can shoot an animal at 500-600 yards with this, I mean, that is a game changer.
Oh yeah, off a tripod. Oh
yeah,
that's
easy.
Like a big thing. I hunt off a tripod because I have bad discs in my neck and my back. So hunting off a tripod is more comfortable for me than laying on the ground prone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously that's the way to shoot is prone, but for a guy that's kind of limited, that's the way to do it.
Yep.
That's awesome. Sure. Boy, we went like from 0 to 150 in this podcast. This is my kind of podcast right here. We just went straight at it. So I love it. I have been recording this whole time, so which is awesome, because this is some priceless content. But before we get too far down the road here, I mean, we really need to get to know you guys and who you are. So if you guys wouldn't mind, maybe take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about who you are.
So I'm Kevin Salzman, obviously, and my real job is I'm a supervisor at a sugar factory, and I've worked there for 33 years, and I've always been into hunting since I was a little kid. And then, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago, I had taken a gun to a gunsmith for a Cerakote job, and a year later, I still didn't have my gun back for a Cerakote job. So I came home and I went and got my gun. I told my wife, you know what? This can't be that hard. So I ordered the Cerakote stuff, bought a sandblasting cabinet, barrel vise, started taking my own stuff apart, started Cerakoting. Then I moved to a gun shop downtown, and I was Cerakoting there. And a friend of mine from Montana came down and said, well, I didn't know you were doing this. So he started bringing his stuff down, and he said, well, there's a gunsmith in North Dakota looking for somebody to Cerakote. So I start Cerakoting all this guy's stuff from North Dakota, and that's how it snowballed. Well, it just so happens that this guy that in North Dakota was a gunsmith, and he's been doing it for 42 years.
Oh, wow.
And he said, well, I don't know why you don't just come up here and learn how to chamber. So I finished my campaign at the sugar factory, and I ordered a lathe before I left, and I went up there for 2 weeks and learned how to chamber a gun. I'd bought enough parts to build 2 guns when I was up there. And that's kind of how it all started. And when I got back, my lathe had showed up, and that's how it all started.
What?
And, I was Cerakoting that still at that gun shop downtown. And then the guy that was managing the gun shop downtown decided he needed to go make more money. So he went back into banking.
Oh.
And the guy that owned it sold it. And there I was like, well, guess I'm taking my lathe home, applied for my own FFL, my manufacturing license. And that's how I got started.
Wow. What were the 2 guns that you built when you were out in North Dakota?
The first 2 I built were 6.5 PRCs.
And I have one of them.
You got the first one.
I've got the first one.
You don't want to sell one, do you? I'm just kidding.
I'm sure we can build you one.
Yeah.
The first 2 that I built were on Remington long actions. I bought brand new receivers, put HS Precision stocks on them. Had a friend of mine that owns Twisted Barrel in Douglas do all the barrel fluting and bolt fluting. I think one was spiral fluted and the other one was interrupted spiral, matched the bolts, had tack knobs put on them. And then he bought one, and I sold my first one downtown through that gun store before I moved. So that's, and then it just, we started into getting like better components, we
Got hooked up with AG composites and
proof research. We started putting carbon fiber barrels on. Either way, for me, it's either at our shop, it's 50% Bartlein, 50% proof.
Wow.
I've put some Brucks on and some Brottons, but pretty much it's been proof and Bartlein.
Wow. That was kind of one of my first questions. And I know Seth has some questions for you guys as well, but that's kind of my first question is like, what does go into your guys' builds? Obviously we just already talked about the barrels, but what are the trigger mechanisms? What are the actions? What does that build look like for you guys?
So like I said, we did a lot on Remingtons because people could afford a Remington at $400. Well, once all that stuff dried up, we needed to pick a different avenue. And for my personal stuff, I'd been buying Defiance actions. And then, so we were building on them, and, I could get them in 30 days, and then it went to 60 days, and then it went 6 months, and now a lot of them are a year out. So I'm almost back into the same scenario where parts wise,
Yeah.
So I got,
So we actually, I actually went to the NRL hunter shoot at the Snake River in Idaho, and I actually met Glenn Harrison, who is the guy that owns Defiance Machine, and they do a custom branding part to where you can do your own item SKUs and your own product names. And so we're set up with Defiance Machine with our own logo, and we get our actions from them. We're still waiting on the first ones, but when we do get them in, they'll start rolling in, and they'll have our own product names and stuff. So
that'll be sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. The first ones of those will look sweet.
Yeah. The rest of our parts, I'm partial to Timney triggers. He's partial to trigger tech. So I like
it's kind of a battle.
I'm with Kevin on that one.
I like the Timney hit triggers the best. I don't know if you've ran a hit.
Yeah.
But they're, 8 ounces to 2 pounds or whatever. So I run them. I run my personal stuff about 12 ounces.
Wow. Wow, that is a light trigger.
As far as, and we've learned a lot about bottom metals and inlets. And first we were just doing a Hawkins, just like a replacement Remington BDL style. Well, then we run into different things like, you can't put a magazine. Some people want a magazine, and then some people wanted BDL. And then they come back and say, well, now I want to run a magazine. And well, guess what? Your stock's not inletted for that stuff. I mean, I've sent some stocks to like Badger Ordnance, and they'll re-inlet as long as they have aluminum pillar in there. So I just finally started, with all of our AG stuff, I started just inletting everything for M5, so you can go either way. So if they don't want to run a mag when they're hunting and they're, doing a competition or whatever, they can run a mag. And if they want to go hunting, they can put that BDL style bottom metal in there, throw a Wyatt's box in there, and not have that sticking down, poking you in the side if you're for hunting, I guess. So the M5 just made sense to us to just have everything inlet that way.
Yeah. I've become a fan of magazines. I've started shooting quite well. I have a few different kinds, but Tikkas are ones that I've kind of gravitated towards, and to be able to have a magazine in those Tikkas has been, it's one of the best things about the gun. It's got some great things about it, but that was one of my favorite things about it, is having a magazine. But I also understand there's different, some people don't want it for different reasons. When you're hunting, it is kind of easier to have that floor plate that you can just put them in and call it good. But yeah, teach his own, I guess.
Yeah, we ran into that a lot. We kind of had switched some of our guns over to magazines because we were top feeding at these NRL matches, and it sucked. You're pulling rounds out of there. You get 8 rounds, and you're trying to fumble through it, and the magazine's the way to go for that kind of stuff. And I'm sure like coyote hunting, it makes a big difference when you're predator hunting as far as that goes, having those extra rounds in that gun. So.
Well, I went elk hunting one time with a 6.5 Creedmoor, and I had 3 magazines with me just because I knew that what the gun was capable of on an elk, and I was happy to have magazines where I could carry a few of them, so I knew I had plenty of bullets. Sorry, that's kind of a dig against some of our guys at E-Hunter.
Them Creedmoor guys.
Yep, I call them Needsmore.
There's another name, but we won't discuss it.
Now I kind of want to hear this other name.
We'll have to do that off air, right?
Yeah, we'll wait till we stop recording, then you'll have to share that one. Seth, I know that you had a lot that you wanted to ask these guys, so I'm going to kind of turn it over to you to let you kind of run with it for a minute.
My biggest and first question was kind of the one I left with Taryn is if you had a Western hunter approach you and say, I want my first custom rifle, I'm going to leave it up to you guys, build me a Western hunting custom rifle. How would you go about that? What chamber would you, or what caliber or cartridge would it be chambered in and all that?
I put a whole bunch of them together. So last year, I decided I would take the 300 Ultra Mag case and neck it down to 6.5. So it works, but it doesn't work.
Did it fly?
Well, I started out with 92 grains of US 869, and I built this 6.5 300 rum with a 26-inch proof barrel. Well, the barrel wasn't long enough to burn all the powder, so I was dumping unburned US 869 out of my suppressor. So then I switched to H1000, and I just screw my suppressor on, go out here in the backyard and test it before I go load a bunch. Well, I shot like 83.5 grains, and everything was good. So I load up 10 of these, go to the range the next day, and I pull the trigger and go to extract the shell, and I look, and there's no primer in the bottom of it. The primer was laying in the bottom of the receiver. So, well, that could have been a fluke. So I tried another one, same thing. I was like, well, go back home, pull bullets, dump powder, because that's not going to work either. So then I went to 8133, and I started at like 85 grains and loaded one, go out here in the backyard, shoot it. Oh, that works. So I load up 10 more. go to the range. And I didn't have a primer failure or overpressure problem at that point. So would I do that again? I wouldn't build a 6.5 300 run for anybody, just because, with that big a hole, or with that small a hole and that much powder, it's a lot to get out of there. And the year before that, I had taken a 300 PRC case and necked it down to 6.5. So I got a 6.5 300 PRC, and that works really well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's the do all.
That if you're a hand loader and you don't mind running bushings in your dies,
Right.
I would build a 6.5 300 PRC, because you're shooting a 156 burger at 3,300 with 86 grains of USA 69, and it works.
Yeah, I had like 1,100 yards. It's only 17 MOA of drop. So with that higher BC 156 burger, I mean, that cartridge is the way to go for a be all end all. If you were wanting to hunt elk, you could probably even hunt moose.
I don't know if you guys can see it. That's the 6.5 300 PRC, and this is that 6.5 300 rum that I did. So,
wow.
If you were a guy that didn't hand load and you were just going to shoot elk, deer, antelope, and you wanted to buy factory ammo and you didn't want a lot of recoil, I think I would go with that 6.5 PRC as an all round. My brother killed an elk, or let a friend of his shoot his gun, and they killed an elk last year with a 156 burger
At
at 1,252 yards with a 156 burger, one shot.
Wow.
Across the canyon.
Dang.
Nasty canyon.
That's impressive.
With that same gun, my brother and Jordan were doing tests to see how far they could shoot a 10-inch gong. And Rod hit that gong at 1,900 yards with that 6.5 PRC. With that,
Yeah, there's a video on YouTube of how far it was. You can see the plate and everything. I was looking through his Swarovski spotting scope, and it was unreal. I mean, you're just like, what? Really? You hit this thing? Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. The technology's crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, for me, the wildcat part of it's the fun part for me. I don't own a gun that isn't odd. I mean,
right.
I got a 6.5 Psalm. Well, they never made 6.5 Psalm brass when I started that. So I had to take 7 Psalm brass and I get down to 6.5 or 300 Psalm brass, either one. I don't know. I got a 6.5 284. There's 257 Ackley improved. 6.5 284.
6.5 by 47.
6 by 47 Lapua.
So you guys like the 6.5 caliber?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a 30 caliber guy. He's a 6.5.
Well, okay.
I built a 300 PRC 2 years ago for myself. I think I've shot it like 10 times.
Sorry, Seth, I don't mean to steal your thunder again here, but so that's what I'm in the market for right now is a 300 PRC. I really want to get my hands on a 300 PRC. I shoot my 7 mag, have done forever. It's been a great gun, love it. But there's just something about that 300 PRC that just catches my attention, especially for elk hunting. Is really kind of what I'm looking for, and so I've found that it's hard to beat the 300 PRC, but you guys are kind of changing my mind on the 6.5 stuff.
So I have a 300 Win Mag that we custom built, and I have a 300 PRC as well. And I load H1000 in the 300 PRC, and it's 76.6 grains. And then I have that 300 Win Mag that's a custom 300 Win Mag, and I'm running the same amount of grains, but in IMR 8133. And as far as velocity goes, I'm shooting 238 tips out of that 300 Win Mag. So it's they're seated out there. It's longer. It won't fit in it's not a factory gun. It's pretty much a 300 Win Mag that's a 300 PRC. And, comparatively, for a guy that's shooting factory ammo, that 300 PRC is the way to go. If you're not a hand loader, if you're wanting that 30 caliber bullet, that would be the cartridge to go with.
Because, a lot of times they'll want to shoot different bullets. So I can put the throat in it for whatever bullet you're going to shoot. So, just because my reamer has a 189 freebore doesn't mean that you're stuck with that. So if you make a dummy round for me, I can cut the chamber. Do you want it 20 thousandths in front of the lands? Do you want 25 thousandths? It doesn't matter to me. So,
Wow.
you can use it. I use a unithroader and do whatever you want, or you can just run with the way the reamer's built. So that's why I have two 6.5 PRC reamers. One is built for a short action with these like the 140s or 143 ELDX, and I got tired of unithroading. So I just ordered another reamer with a 202 free bore for the guys with the 156 that build them on a long action, or a Defiance XM.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that, you got 200 thousandths more on an XM than you do a short action. So you don't have to worry about running into feeding issues or magazine issues. You got the only problem with running an XM action and doing like a Hawkins bottom metal M5 bottom metal is the magazine capacity, because right now MDT only makes a 10 round for a detachable mag, but Snowy Mountain makes bottom metal for a BDL style, bottom metal where you run a Wyatt's box or their box. They have a box made for that extra length, and you get a follower in a kit.
Wow.
So there's not a lot of options for the XM action, but either, if that's the way you want to go. And I've done that with some tenacities on 6.5 PRCs, that wanted to shoot a longer bullet, but they could still go back and shoot a 140 out of the same
gun,
and it still works. You just got a little more free bore than what you really need.
That's kind of what I was thinking. If you get that longer one, you can still shoot the shorter ones. You just have a little bit of room there, but
doesn't limit you to that 140, 147 class bullets. You can shoot 153 Hornady bullets. Or
the only advantage of using a short action is just that shorter throw, shorter bolt throw. So you're you can shoot a little bit faster.
Yeah. See, this is what's kind of interesting about custom guns is it can get a little bit intimidating, for those of us that aren't gun builders, and you're talking 25 thousandths, here and whatnot. And for a lot of people, that's like, okay, what does that all mean? And so it definitely can be a little bit intimidating. And so I think that's kind of what, going back to Seth's question, as far as like, what would be that best gun for people to get into that wouldn't scare the bejeebus out of them?
That 6.5 PRC, I mean, it's got less recoil. You're getting good BC. You have the energy to be able to shoot, 700 yards and still be able to kill a deer, an elk, an antelope, a bear.
Right.
Yeah. We had went to Canada 3 years ago, and I had taken my 6.5 Psalm with me, and I was in a tree stand, and the first night these two bears come in, they're grab assing around the bait and fighting with each other. And and they take off, and I didn't do nothing that night. But, the next night, the one came in by himself, and he's sitting on his butt eating off this 55-gallon barrel, and he had his neck stretched out, So I just took that 6.5 saw and poked him right in the neck, and just lights out. He did not flinch, move, nothing.
Wow.
Dead. Just stone cold dead.
And then he was fighting a bear off. So he's got to tell you guys this part of this, because that was
when I lowered my gun to the ground, threw all my stuff out of this tree stand. I go over to the where the bear's at, and he's laying in a big pool of blood. So I rolled him out of there, and I turn around and look, and there's that other bear is only like 15 yards from me. And I hollered at him, and he woof 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 woof, and he runs off. And I look again, and it's not like 30 seconds, and he is back. And pretty soon I'm throwing sticks at him, and he's woofing at me and bluff charging me. And then, it's pretty thick. We're east and south of Lake Laurence, quite a ways up there, and it's real thick timber, logging stuff. He gets behind me, and you can hear him snapping his teeth. And anyway, they give you a two-way radio so you can radio the outfitter, tell him, I shot a bear, come pick me up or whatever. And he was madder than hell that I got out of that tree stand. He said, when that bear's bluff charging you like that, he is not afraid of you. Not at all.
Yeah.
You should have stayed in the tree.
With the gun.
There until I came back. Yeah. Well, if you charge me, I'd just shoot that one too.
No. Yeah, come home with two. No, I don't want a bear charging me. No, thank you. Mm-mm.
Yeah, we grew up chasing them with hounds, so we've had them not go up a tree, and they'll do the same thing, popping jaws and bluff charging and yelling at them, and then they go up on the hill and we'd shoot them, and they come running back down, popping jaws and fall over. So running them with hounds, we had them all sorts of riled up for. So.
But there's no better adrenaline rush than bear hunting for me. I mean, that is great.
Do you guys do a lot of bear hunting there in Wyoming?
I've killed 3 of them here.
Oh wow!
And I've killed, and the 4th one was that one that I got on the wall. That rug there, that's the one I killed.
Okay, so that's the one that you killed up there. So the full body one back there, that's a Wyoming one.
That's a Wyoming bear. Yeah, that was a 6-year-old female.
Wow. That's a good sized bear.
Killed that one in like 2000, 99, 2000. So it's been a while.
Man, that's awesome. So 6.5, huh? 6.5 PRC. That's now you got me thinking. Now I might have to change my mind on what gun I want, because I've been so set on that 300 PRC. It's just such a sweet round. Just packs a punch, and it's so efficient too. That's another thing that I've really liked about it. But I do kind of like the
components. The components are the hard thing. Right now with all the shortages of stuff going on, components are hard to get. We are an ADG dealer, ADG Brass. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but we're an ADG dealer, and it takes almost a year to get your order, man. You place a $10,000 order, and it can take a year for it to come in because they're just so backlogged.
It's ridiculous. Is it getting any better? Have you guys seen any improvement at all, or do you feel like it's still kind of just where it is or getting worse?
Well, we've been able to get powder and bullets, but the primer supply,
non-existent. They won't even let me back order primers. Most of our distributors they say we're too backlogged, no primers. So basically when I do a powder order, they have a list of back ordered powders I can back order, and it might be 2 weeks, it might be 6 months. Wow. It's just crazy. It's the same with the brass components. It's, we got lucky and got 40 units of 6.5 PRC. So all the guys that we built guns for, we offered them that choice of more brass first before we, tell anybody else that, right. Because they're going to be the ones that come back to you as repeat customers. And then I save a bunch for the upcoming guns that we're going to build. So they at least have some brass that they can, without having to wait 6 months for trying to find brass for one of their new guns, So it seems like now you go out and find the ammo before you build a gun, because
it's true.
You just don't know when it's going to be available.
Yeah, like I'm building a 300 Blackout, and I've been just buying ammo. I kind of looked to see if I could find ammo before I even started building, because I didn't want to build a gun and then not be able to shoot it. So
we're dealing with that right now. I don't know if Taryn. Well, you have a pistol for the lever gun you're getting though, right? So you're probably okay on ammo, Taryn.
Yeah,
but I'm dealing with it. I'm getting a 4570, and it's like that's just regular old 4570 ammo's terrible to find.
Yeah. It's sad. Are you guys seeing that when people are ordering guns? Are they kind of going away from the really custom, like the PRCs, and going more towards, like, are they ordering 308s and some of the ones that you can find components for?
Not really.
Oh,
no, I've built way more 6.5 PRCs than I have anything else.
Interesting.
Just everybody. I mean, even from like down to 22-inch barrels. The guy wanted to build like a gun that he could pack sheep on, so they're putting little short barrels even on a 6.5 PRC. I don't do a lot of 7mm stuff either. It seems like it's either a 22 caliber or a 6.5 caliber or a 30 caliber. Not a lot of 7 mags or STWs or any of that stuff.
That kind of breaks my heart a little bit, because I'm like I said, I've been shooting. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
not a lot of 27 caliber either,
Yeah.
270 stuff either.
270s.
Interesting. It's weird because I think the 7 caliber is a pretty efficient caliber as well. I mean, it's something that we've used for a very long time. It's been very effective, and it's weird to see us go away and go more towards like the 6.5 or the 30. It's different.
Yeah.
So interesting.
I built a 22 Creed bore that's really fun. So I got parts for a couple custom 22 Creed motors. I mean, heck of an antelope gun. Shoot a 75 grain burger at 3450.
Wow.
Put the smoke on an antelope or rock chucks or.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. That'd be a sweet coyote gun too.
That is a fun gun.
Wow. That's awesome.
I got my 6.5 Psalm right here if you guys would like to see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you said you brought some guns. I wanna see some of these.
So that is I don't know if you can see it very
Oh
well.
yeah.
So that's a Defiance action, Deviant Hunter action. And like I said, the Hawkins bottom metal. And then I custom build these rails for the guys that want to run an Arca rail that want to run a tripod.
Okay.
So your tripod just clips right on there and you can. And then we're Atlas Development.
Oh, sorry guys. There we go.
We are 80 Atlas bipod dealers.
So B&T Industries.
B&T Industries.
Okay.
So we run their bipods.
Sweet looking gun.
Gun.
I don't know much about those bipods. I was looking actually into who else is the other one that makes? I was thinking it's Spartan,
yeah,
isn't it? Doesn't Spartan make a bipod?
Spartan
Yeah,
Precision makes a lightweight mountain bipod.
Yeah, that was what I was looking
I
at.
mean, they can go flat, or you can go all the way back, or.
Oh wow.
And then they got a ball head on them so they can tilt.
You can.
And then they also swivel.
That's
And you just tighten this up, and then it locks everything into place.
That's a sweet gun. That's a sweet setup right there. What rings do you guys use on your scopes? Did you say I may not?
Oh, Hawkins Precision. So
Hawkins Precision.
we're a Hawkins Precision dealer.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much exclusive. Bottom metal is Hawkins, and the rings.
And the
Pretty
rings.
much all Hawk. And I use a lot of Hawkins 3-port muzzle brakes or the 4-port self-timing muzzle brakes.
Okay.
It doesn't, what if the customer wants a Terminator, doesn't matter to me, what muzzle brake. If they got something they want, we put that whatever you want on there.
Okay, so they can kind of pick and choose.
Yeah.
This is what I want, or I'm sure most people probably just come and say just do whatever is best. But I'm sure there's a few of those.
Some of them are still kind of picky.
Are they? Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, they still got their.
It's
their
like your
things
favorite
they want.
football team, right?
Yeah, it's true. So true.
Some guys are Night Force guys. We're a loophole dealer. We run gold ring on everything. So it's just, I don't know. It's personal preference.
Yeah. No, I get that. Cool.
Makes sense.
I mean, I do a lot of. I mean, I don't necessarily have to build a custom gun. A guy has a old Remington and wants to put a new barrel on or whatever. So we don't just try to push all of our Defiance stuff onto people because a lot of people can't afford to build a $6,000 gun.
Right.
$750 proof barrel, $700 or $800 stock. So, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not, I'll build whatever they want on whatever they can afford if that's what they want to do.
So say I have like my 7 mag, my Tika 7 mag, and I want to put a proof barrel on it. I could bring it to you guys, and you guys would put a barrel on it.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
And whatever caliber you want.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
as long as you got the right bolt face, if you got a Magnum bolt face and you want to, you run into some of that stuff. I mean, Remingtons I can send out and have them bushed down or opened up and then put a different extractor in them. And so, bolt face stuff. I mean, there's like Zermatt actions, they have their own, they have a modular bolt head where you can pull a pin and you can do, you can buy one receiver instead of buying another one, you just buy a bolt head and then you can.
That's where a lot of that pre-fit stuff is coming into play. There's a lot of guys that are buying pre-fit barrels and then buying go gauges and screwing barrels on an action.
There you go.
So
Gotcha.
some of that goes on, but
Yeah. And we do all of our own Cerakoting. I mean, I've Cerakoted a lot of stuff.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, Corvette parts, not just
Handguns.
handguns.
You know,
All the outlets in my house around my wife's kitchen, they had to be midnight bronze. So I've Cerakoted outlets and switch covers. And
so this is an AR pistol he just Cerakoted.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can see
Oh, yeah.
it's quite a few different colors in there, but that's just kind of an example of what we can do.
Do you guys do hydro dipping as well, or just Cerakoting?
Just Cerakote.
Cerakote.
Okay, I like
seems to
Cerakote
be
better.
the most durable.
Yeah.
You know, I have a Glock 10 millimeter that I pack in the mountains. I've been bucked off my horse and dumped it in the dirt and threw it back in the holster, and it's not beat up. You know, it's had 5 years of abuse, and the Cerakote has held up really, really well.
Wow.
Have you seen any of them Boss Citadel 25 shotguns, the AR looking shotguns?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't.
Grab that shotgun. So here's one that was all black, and we did, a green and a charcoal color. So, you can do just about anything you want, even magazines, plastic, whatever. So, yeah.
That looks sweet.
That's cool.
What about your guys' stocks that you put on your guns? I'm guessing carbon fiber, but are they specific? Do you do custom stuff on them as well?
No, because this is an AG stock. It weighs like 30 ounces, and it's a carbon fiber stock. Obviously this one's got a paint scheme,
Right.
color on it, but some of them have more carbon exposed that you can see. But pretty much everybody loves this chalk branch style, with that cutout like right there. The only problem I have is when you run into, wanting to put a tripod on something, you don't got a lot of room for an Arca rail. You got about 2.5, 3 inches there,
Right.
versus, like that Alpine Hunter that has a flat bottom where you could put a 10
Then you can run a full Arca rail.
Yeah.
I got here's this.
I love this. Like Vanna White's just like handing guns. This is like my dream right here.
This is the 6.5 284 that we put a area 419 Arca rail on. So
wow.
See, and I like that.
Yeah,
That
I do
whole
too.
thing, that's sick.
yes. We just set this up for my youngest to go with us to a NRL shoot, and this is what he'll shoot. So he can put his tripod anywhere he wants, whereas I'm limited to 3 inches,
Mhm.
And then you can run this area 419 adapter to an Arca rail on your B&T Industry tripod, it has modular pins that fit in those grooves. I don't know if you can see the grooves on that rail.
Oh yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's 3 pins in this head, and then pins will line up in them grooves so it doesn't slide back and forth on you.
Oh, that's sweet.
So
That is something that you don't see on a lot of custom guns.
yeah, that area 419 stuff, they make good stuff.
Huh. I haven't even looked into that. Seth, have you been into that stuff much?
I haven't looked at that rail. That's cool. I like that
Yeah,
a lot.
Area 419 makes some really good stuff. I run their bottom mag extenders on some MDT mags in my 6.5 PRC off of XLR chassis, and I can put 11 rounds in those mags, so it's worth it.
That is awesome.
Nice.
You make it rain with that.
Yeah.
11.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you familiar with like field optics research or?
I actually have an old tripod. My tripod I take with me in the mountains is from Field Optics Research.
So we're a field optics research dealer.
Are you? That's cool.
I actually was at the Heart Mountain Challenge. So in Cody, Wyoming, they have this shoot that's a benefit shoot for Special Warriors Foundation, and it's a really big shoot. And I seen a guy that had a tripod, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And it was a field optics research tripod. So I got a hold of those guys, and we got hooked up as a dealer with them, and we've sold quite a few of them, and they just work.
Yeah, I really like mine. It's an older model, but I use it for my I have some Vortex 18s that I glass with, and I got a whole mount system. I just put my Vortexes on there and just sit down and glass and glass and glass. But I really like it. So
Yeah, you carry one tripod for your spot and scope, binoculars, camera,
Yep.
and your,
Yep.
because even the new head that's on the new field optics research will do Arca rail or pick rail. So if
Nice.
you've got, whatever setup you got on the bottom of it, they'll clamp onto either one.
That's cool.
That's way cool.
I shot my elk at 850 off of one this last fall. So
That's
I mean,
awesome.
one shot done, and it doesn't kick the gun out of it. Once it's locked in, you're solid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's cool.
So I want to ask you a question of you guys. So, we kind of talked about this in the beginning. Some people don't want to spend, $6,000 on a custom gun. And you guys don't have to tell me all the prices and things like that, but what if someone's wanting to get into a custom gun, what can they get into one for? Or if somebody wanted to just go all out and get the craziest thing out there, what does that look like from you guys?
Well, I'm not going to knock on our competitors, right? But
you can.
We can build an all carbon fiber gun for around $4,500.
Oh wow!
Which is extremely price competitive.
Yeah.
Compared to your Best of the West or Gunworks, and I don't have any bad things to say about those guys. They're only 90 miles away. They've been doing it a lot longer than we have. But and then you got the guys that they have a Remington 700 that's old that they can bring to us, and we can chamber it in a newer caliber that they're wanting to get into with a steel barrel, and run a little bit cheaper stock, and you're still going to get the same quality of gun.
Yeah.
So you don't have to spend $4,000 on a gun.
That's what I think a lot of people think of when they think of a custom gun. People are going to listen to this podcast and be like, all right, well, I can't spend $6,000 on a gun, or even $4,500 on a gun. What are my options? What can I do? And that's a great one. Yeah. If you have a Remington 700, bring it to you guys, let you turn it into something amazing.
Speaking of that, do you guys work on Rugers?
I've rebarreled some M77s. That's just the problem they run into. There's not a lot of options.
Yeah.
If they want to replace a stock,
Nothing.
That 700 footprint really makes a big difference. That
Right.
The Remington 700 footprint. I mean, they've been around forever.
And there's a million parts.
Yeah. It's like the AR of the bolt world.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly right. You know how to work on a Ruger, don't you, Seth? You just throw it in the trash can.
Yeah. You take it to the local gun show and you trade it off on a Remington.
That's right.
It's killed a lot of stuff, man. There's some sentimental value there.
Yeah.
That's what you find. They always have that sentimental value to it, those Ruger M77s.
I've killed a lot of stuff over the years, and it's time to upgrade, but I don't know if I want to get rid of it yet.
Yeah, that was, a friend of mine, he had an M77 and it was his dad's and it didn't shoot very good. So we just put a new barrel on and he refinished the stock, and it is what it is.
Yep.
Actually, truth be told, I had an old a Ruger M77 25-06 and burned the barrel up in it and sold it for really cheap. And I kind of kicked myself for doing it. I should have just rebarreled it and kept it, let my kids shoot it or whatever, just to have. But yeah, it was not a good shooting gun. I did kill some animals with it, but I compared to, some of these custom guns or even the Tikkas, and there's no comparison in my book.
Yeah.
So, hey, another question I have for you guys, and you guys kind of talked about this. You get brass for your people or for people that buy your guns. Do you guys give load data like for testing to get people like, hey, here is this, like, so say I purchased a 6.5 PRC or 300 PRC from you guys. Do you guys give any kind of data as far as here's the best round to optimize this gun that you're buying?
So a lot of that has to do with, so the first gun that he built, it shot one hole with the Hornady Precision 100. It was unreal.
Wow.
I was blown away. So I was able to work up a load to replicate that.
Mm-hmm.
And we can make suggestions. There's not a lot of guys that do a lot of reloading where we're at. And so if a guy comes to me and has reloading questions, we can answer all of those reloading questions. Okay. And with the component shortage, people are having to switch things around. They're having to pick the powders that they can get, the bullets they can get, and you just kind of have to work with it. I mean, that's where, having a good chronograph comes into play, having a good powder scale comes into play. and just having somebody that knows how to do that. I've noticed that there's a lot of guys out there that they want to get into reloading and they have a hard time doing that because they don't have the resources to help them do that. So, I like to help guys out as far as guiding them in the right direction. We don't load ammo for anybody. There's a lot of liability and the insurance is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
So what we do is we can suggest a load to guys, and then they can try it. And if they start having issues, they can call and we'll help them work through that problem.
It's good to know. So I am a hand loader. I hand load pretty much everything. If I did buy a 300 PRC, I'd have to buy that Hornady ammunition, I'm sure, just to at least get me started. If I could find it. I don't even know if
I got
find
16 units of 80G brass if you need some.
Hey. I need your number.
Does that steer you in the direction of the 300 PRC?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Oh gosh, I've thought about buying a 308 because that's the only thing I can find on the shelf right now. So,
no, if you need brass for one of them, we have brass for them.
That's good to know.
I can get 238 tips too. That it's hard to find those 212 ELDXs, man. I've got 50 units on back order, and I haven't seen any of them. So It's just, I wear a smaller outfit too. Some of the big box stores like Shields and Cabela's and Sportsman's Warehouse, they order mass quantities of that stuff. So they're going to get priority over the little guys.
I get that. That's totally cool. But it sounds like you guys have a lot of stuff and can get a lot of stuff. So that's good to know. You guys do a lot. I mean, we've been talking about custom guns, but you guys do a lot of other stuff too. I mean, you have like a whole online thing, right?
Yeah. So we have a whole online retail store where guys can go and pick a gun, have it shipped to an FFL. We can get just about anything, the only firearms companies we can't get is like Kimber, Colt. You have to have you have to be in their club or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean the cool kid, they're cool kids club. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But no, and then so if guys order a gun through us and they want a Cerakote job, we give them a 10% discount if they order the gun through us.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So.
Tell them about the website and the Gear Fire and all the.
Yeah, we have a website that has all of our distributors synced to it. And they have bullets, ammo, pistols, just about anything on there. And then whatever's in store, usually I will put it in the online inventory. And so guys can go in and buy it from our online store.
Okay.
Nice. So I'm building this 300 Blackout. Do you guys have stuff that I could use to build that?
So is it on an AR platform?
Yeah, on an AR platform.
So yeah, there are parts on there. The website's kind of hard to navigate. It's not as user friendly, but if there's like particular parts that people are looking for, if they just call me, I can sit down on the computer and find them the parts that they need.
That's good to know. That's really good to know. I'm having a little bit of difficulty. I mean, kind of we've been talking about this whole time. It's just so hard to find things right now. If you want to, I could go buy a, Diamond or whatever, 300 Blackout, but I think it's a lot more fun to build your own and kind of do your own thing. You just feel a little bit better about it. And so, but I'm having a hard time finding parts. So I started looking on your guys' website the other day. And that's why I'm kind of bringing this up. I just saw a lot of different stuff. You can get full setups, you can get parts, you can get a lot of cool different things. And so, Jordan, I might be reaching out to you and having you look some stuff up for me.
I mean, there's some of our suppliers that aren't attached to that website too. So, he can look.
What I do is I just pull it up, I don't know. We try to help out the little guy. Cause I've been on the other side of that where I was spending 11 grand at the gun store in a year and I'm paying full retail price for that stuff. And it's hard.
It is.
I mean, the common guy that wants to go shoot on the weekends, if he can find 50 bullets and some brass, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And at a reasonable price.
Well,
the price gouging stuff to some of that is just unreal.
Yeah, we just had a gun show here in our town. Our town only like 5,500 people. And you see these people that come to this gun show from out of town and they're trying to sell powder for $75 a pound. We just get a bunch of powder in and we're selling it for $45 a pound. Some of it was $38 a pound. So those guys are trying to make a killing and it's really hurting the people that want to shoot, but they're not going to buy that stuff because it's too high priced. Make it
Exactly.
reasonable. That's what gets people interested in shooting and reloading. They don't want to be paying $200 for 1,000 primers. That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It really is.
You only make like $3 to $5 a pound for powder. Sell it. Let somebody enjoy. That.
Exactly.
I just don't understand the whole gun broker thing. Where you're seeing,
making a quick buck off of
the
guy, and then you got the guys that are just trying to find components. I mean, and you got guys that are just buying stuff up just to sell it on gun broker. That's tough.
It's killing us though. It's killing me because I'm with you. Not gonna lie, I spent $75 for a pound of powder not that long ago, within the last week. Don't tell my wife, but but to your point, I want to shoot. I want to go out on the weekends. I want to shoot. I like to hand load everything. I'm not a fan of going to the store and buying because I don't get the performance. And when you go out there shooting still at 1,000 yards, you've got to have really good performance. And so, but it's hard. It's really hard when you're spending that much money for a pound of powder, or like you said, primers. Primers are ridiculous right now. If you can find them, it's so hard to find.
What did the CCI guys tell you at the Western Hunting Expo?
Yeah, February we went to the Western Hunting Expo. You guys probably.
Yeah, we were there, man. We should have hung out.
I say we had to have walked right past you.
I talked to the federal CCI reps that were there, and they said don't expect to see any amount of primers on the shelves again this year. It's all
I got a email from them said the same thing.
Wow.
Said, you're not getting no primers all of 2022.
Yeah.
That's depressing right there.
In our area, I'm seeing a lot of, there's a lot of 223 on the shelves now. There's some 308 stuff out 9 mil, 45 pistol stuff. So maybe the hunting ammunition will catch up later. I don't know.
I sure hope it does. I hope it does.
Because I haven't seen 7 mag bullets in a year. Just going to the local shop or whatever. I haven't seen any 7 mag, and my cousin still shoots 270, and I haven't seen any 270.
Well, and these big manufacturers, so they only manufacture certain ammo at certain times of the year. So, you got guys coming into goose hunting season, so they're making shotgun shells. You got guys coming into the skeet season, so they're doing that. You got the hunting community, so they build all that hunting ammo from June 1st to August 15th.
Yep.
So that the guys from August 15th to October 31st have hunting ammo.
Yep.
They're not building it in January, so the poor guy that wants to shoot his long range gun or his hunting rifle in the springtime, he's you're kind of at the mercy of the manufacturer's queue in making those products.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys see where down there where they'll, if what they do get installed, you can have one box and one box. Well, that's probably the only way you're going to stop the one guy from coming in there and buying it all and not leaving any for the next guy. So
down here it's 2 boxes of no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You get 2 boxes. So
that's stopping the hoarding.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a good idea because it's bad, because I know my one buddy, before they implemented that, he had just bought a 300 Win right when everything was disappearing. He went in, had 10 boxes on the shelves, and he's like, I'm buying it all, and nobody stopped him. So I was giving him shit. I'm like, you just bought everybody's 300 Win bullets. Now nobody can shoot 300.
Like last fall, I'd get a lot of phone calls from these out-of-state people that came to this area to hunt and, didn't bring enough ammo, or something happened, they drop a gun and the scope's off and they need to go to range and shoot. There was a lot of people call me last fall looking for loaded ammo. And I'm sorry, guys, just don't have it.
Yep. That's sad.
Which is really sad. They spend a lot of money going on a hunt, come out here to go antelope hunting, deer hunting, or elk hunting.
Right.
And you run out of ammo, that's pretty frustrating for a lot of them.
Tough deal.
Well, like for me, like with the reload, I'm afraid to reload because I don't know if I can replace the stuff that I'm pulling the trigger on, and so that's also a scary thing. I've only got a certain amount of stuff that I can load, and I got a number of ammunition that I can load up right now, I can't replace that if I shoot it right now. So it depletes your supply if you go out there and shoot. So whether you're going out there to hunt or whether you're just going out to shoot, it can be very, very frustrating.
That's where you just take the old 22 and and shoot that, because you still want to go shooting, but
Exactly.
You don't want to burn up all your powder and primers.
Yeah. Well, pistols. I bought it. Oh, sorry. What's that, Jordan?
Go ahead. You have to go ahead and like pick, like I like to shoot matches, and I'm having to pick and choose what matches I shoot at, because I can't. The common guy can't. I mean, I can get stuff at cost, but it's still expensive.
Right.
You're still burning through all that stuff. So I get it.
Yeah.
The only thing I've shot consistently in the last year is my 17 HMR. It's the only thing I can get ammo for.
Yeah. 9mm for me. I've been shooting a lot of 9mm. Bought a new 9mm Glock yesterday. So that's all I'm shooting lately. Is that. Sad.
At least you're getting out and shooting.
It's true. And you know what? And I'm happy. I'm absolutely happy. I'd love to take my arsenal out there with me and put bullets down each one of their barrels. But you got to be happy with what you get. And kind of going back to our talk about custom guns. I think some people may be nervous to buy a custom gun right now because, hey, maybe I buy that 6.5 PRC, but I can't find ammo. I think it's comforting knowing that if someone was to buy from you guys, from Spartan Arms, that at least there is that hookup that, hey, we can help get you some of these components so that you can enjoy this brand new rifle that you bought.
Yeah, I try to make sure that guys can get, I have the ability to get them some bullets in it. If they absolutely need 100 primers, I can find them 100 primers.
Nice.
For guys that build guns through us. That is,
that's an incentive.
What we can do.
That's an incentive enough right there for me to get a gun. As long as I can find some components, that's it's all I need. Oh gosh. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on, and I know you mentioned that you're not this big box company doing this, and there are other companies out there doing it, but when we found you guys, it was kind of something special because we wanted to spotlight you guys. Because we want to support those kind of the smaller companies getting started, things like that. But one thing that we love about companies, and we've had a lot of smaller or startup companies on our podcast lately, because it's real people that you're talking with. It's not somebody that thinks they're God, for one, and then someone that's just not going to give you the time of day, or you get an answering machine or a robot when you call. And so one thing that I think that really drew us to you guys is you guys are real people that are really out there to help guys like us, basically. And I hope I'm not incorrect in saying any of that.
No, I take really, really to heart the fact that guys like to shoot and they like to hunt. And if I can help them have a product that's good and we back behind it, why not?
Yeah.
Why not help the guy that the blue collar guy, be able to have the same quality?
Absolutely. I think that's huge. That's a lot of our followers, honestly, right there. Those blue collar guys, may not be the richest guys out there. I mean, not everybody can be like Seth and just have all the money that they want. And so,
yeah. Says the guy that's shooting the Tika. I still shoot that old Ruger. Okay?
Oh yeah, I guess there is that. I guess that put it out there.
A lot of guys that we deal with or build for, they're like me and Jordan. We piece it together one piece at a time. Save enough money for a stock, save enough money for a barrel, save enough money for a receiver, so it doesn't come all at once. So, it seems to be working, that way.
Once you build one, that's the one you'll shoot.
Yeah.
Until you build another one.
Exactly.
It's addictive.
It's an addiction.
It is. As soon as you have one, it's like, oh, I got to have more. I've got to.
That's just guns in general. I think guns in general is like, I got to have that one and that one.
You tell your wife it's an investment.
How many more of them do you need? You built 5 of them for yourself last year. You're done. but I'm not done.
Yeah, no. That's why I couldn't be a gun builder right there. I'd be building my own guns. I wouldn't have time to build anybody else's guns.
She says, aren't you going to sell some of that stuff? No, that's my gun.
No.
No. That's why I bought a bigger safe.
Just tell her it's an investment. Honey, this thing's going to appreciate in value. It's going to be worth at least what I bought it for, you know.
Yeah, just don't let her sell it for what you told her.
Right.
Exactly.
You only got 500 in that one. Sure looks like it's worth a lot more.
Yeah.
I got it on a screaming deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, guys. Well, we didn't want to keep you all day, but we appreciate you coming on and chatting with us and telling us a little bit about Spartan Arms. I mean, you guys, seriously, I don't know. I didn't know a lot about you guys prior to this, but, you know, looking at social media and whatnot, you guys have some really, really cool stuff. Super excited to get to know you guys a little bit. I'm sure that we'll be in contact a lot going forward because I got a lot of more questions, maybe more on the personal side of things to ask you guys. But before we jump off of this, you know, Jordan, you talked about people can give you a call. I mean, I don't know if you want to share your phone number with everybody, but what's, you know, kind of what are those best ways to get in touch with you guys if somebody did want to order a gun or just get buy some stuff from you guys?
So you can go on our website, and the easiest way for me to get back to you guys is to get email. Send me an email. That way I have it on the computer. I don't forget, you know, I don't forget to get back to them. And my phone number is on our website, and my dad's phone number is on the website as well. So you can get a hold of us that way. You know, you're not going to talk to an answering machine. You're going to get one of us. So
that's so cool. That's seriously, guys, that's how it should be, honestly, especially when it comes to this. You know, we started this conversation, you guys were going into all these different measurements, and, you know, I think you guys did calculus or algebra or something there for a little while, but you know, those are answers, questions that we can't answer, and so it's nice to have somebody that we can actually call or send an email. I'm an emailer too. I love to email, and so if I can send an email to somebody and say, hey, what about this or what about that, I mean, that is super comforting, and I think for our listeners, it'll be good for them as well. Seth, did you have any other questions for these guys?
No, I think they answered all my questions pretty correctly. I don't know what the correct term is. it died right here. It died. They covered everything that I had for them. So
I'm stoked. Hey, Jordan, you said you guys had a YouTube page. Is that right?
yeah, so we have a YouTube page. There's only like 3 or 4 videos on there. I'm not really good about getting on there and making videos. I could probably do better about that, but yeah, so you can follow our YouTube page, our Instagram, our Facebook, you know. You can contact us in any way on there, you know, and then if there's something specific you got that people are looking for, you know, call me directly. I'll try to help you out. If I can't find it, I'll keep an eye out for you.
Sounds good.
So I told you guys that I built that 6.5 300 drum last fall. So I'll tell you a little elk story here. On a Sunday, me and my wife had on a Thursday, we went into this area, and she had seen this bull, and he was like a couple drainages over, and she said, well, he's right there, and you can shoot him from here. I am not shooting that bull where he is at and packing that thing out on my back. It's just not going to happen. So me and my wife and my youngest boy go into the same spot on a Sunday. And that bull had moved over 3 drainages and was only 300 yards away. And
that picture's on our website.
Yeah.
Is it?
So I don't know if you guys saw that picture of that bull.
Oh yeah, you sent that one to us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bull that I ended up shooting with that 6.5.
That was crap house luck. I hunted 45 days for elk, right?
Oh my god.
Hunted all archery season, hunted all rifle season, and missed a giant bull the night before it closed, and ended up killing a bull the last day. Wow. That next morning on the way out after sleeping on the ground. So
my elk hunt was literally 5 minutes.
Yeah,
5 minutes.
I like that hunt better.
Man,
that's the good kind of hunt.
Yeah,
right
we got this draw we pull into, and you got about 150-yard hill. And as soon as we got to the hill, my wife was snapping her fingers at me and my boy because we went to this other way and turned around, came back, ranged him, shot him. It was 5 minutes.
Wow. I love those kind of hunts.
What was it? Score 350 and
348 and 8.
That's a monster. Jeez.
Yeah, his ivories were only as wide as a 6.5 bullet. They were just ground down to nothing.
Wow.
Wide, nickel high.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a stud bull. Yeah, you guys sent us that picture on Instagram, I believe, and yeah, that's a sweet picture. Sweet bull, man.
I mean, AG Composites put a lot of my guns on Facebook that I built. I'll send them pictures.
Nice.
They use like that 22 Creedmoor. I don't know how many times that thing has been on their Facebook page.
I gotta look into
Defiance has too. They took that 6.5 300 PRC after my wife had shot it out with it, and they tagged us in that too. So it's pretty cool,
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know who you are. I mean, just because it says Spartan Arms, well, there's a lot of Spartan Arms out there. There's one in Las Vegas and one in North Dakota, and so.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't realize there were that many Spartan Arms out there.
I knew there was one in Vegas, but I didn't.
Yeah, they're retail stores. I don't think any of them build guns. I don't think they're a rifle manufacturers like us, but
gotcha.
It'll be cool to see what happens. I think the more we can help the common guy, the better.
Yep. Yeah, I think just give it time. Keep doing what you're doing and doing it the way that you're doing it. And yeah, I mean, with time, you guys will be huge. Don't get too big though. I like this whole good old boy thing.
Yeah, because that's my thing. When I build a gun, I got every step. I mean, from truing an action to chamber and to bed in the stock to Cerakoting to test firing. I own that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done every inch of that entire gun, and that's how I want it to be.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I don't want to hire a bunch of people that you send out a bunch of stuff, and pretty soon you end up with a bunch of stuff coming back to you. I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
I don't want rework, or maybe I'll run into a problem sometime that somebody got a problem with the barrel that's out of my control.
Right.
That's fine, but
Right.
I don't want a bunch of stuff that's coming back because head spaces are off and stuff like that. So
We've ran into factory guns that we've owned ourselves that have had problems like that, and it's tough.
It is. Yeah. But that's what makes you guys. That's what makes it special. I think if for a custom gun, it's just kind of cool having one that's just Well, and for me, I know the guy that built it. I know the guy that did this, and this. If I ever have any question about it, I know who to go to. And you're right. Some of these custom gun companies are truly just they're gun manufacturers. They're no different than the Tikas or the Berettas or whatever else is out there. It's a factory putting these guns together. And I think there's something special about having a gun that is put together by your hands.
Truly custom built.
Yeah.
The time frame thing kind of kills it too. I mean, we used to be able to do a gun in 90 days or 120 days.
Wow.
And now with our actions being 40 weeks out, you're at the mercy of getting that stuff. And that's the only advantage that bigger manufacturers have is they're doing all their parts in-house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I think people understand that. And I think that's worth the wait. Well, just like anything, if it's good.
If they don't, they need to go outside and try to buy some stuff. Like
go to the grocery store or the gas station.
My day job, we haven't had 1540 diesel oil in 6 months. We don't have the chemical to make it. So it's
like the Shell Rotilla,
Exactly.
or the T6 or whatever.
Yep. I haven't seen T6 in a year. Haven't seen Dello in 6 months.
Wow.
So
wow, that's crazy.
This is what it is.
Yeah. That's the world we live in now, it sucks. I've always just put it out there. It absolutely sucks and I hate it. But but again, going back to the point though that it's still worth waiting for, and if it does take you guys a little bit of time to get it, then I think people will understand that. I don't think that people have a problem with that. And for those people that are looking to order a gun, especially for this hunting season, pick up the phone or send that email right now because hunting season will be here before we know it.
Yep, the sooner the better.
Yeah.
Even with muzzle brake jobs, that kind of stuff. A lot of guys like to wait until right before hunting. They say, "Hey, can you do this?" It's like, "Hey, man, we like to hunt too."
Yeah.
So.
Nope.
Business shuts down from August to October. Everybody needs to know that. Oh shoot!
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
It is. I'm jealous. I am jealous of what you guys do. I wish I had the skills that you guys have to be able to do something like that. It's a cool thing, and I appreciate you guys doing it. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, sharing some of this information with us and our and our listeners. I mean, everybody loves these custom guns and are excited about them. And I know, so many people that want one. And so I'm glad to get in contact with you guys, and hopefully we can start, funneling more people your way. So we'll go ahead and end this, but I appreciate you guys jumping on. Good luck in the future. Let's stay in touch. I've got a lot of, like I said, personal questions that I want to ask you. I'm sure Seth does as well, but appreciate you guys being on.
Yeah, just reach out to us. No problem, man. It was great. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys coming on. It's been awesome.